It's another banner. Get your pipes out cause I'm bringing the buns, and yeah, the buns ain't straight off the one and only shed, the roast bun. As I shed some light here, throw some shade there on black metal. That's metal made in Africa. So wipe your elitist tears before you utter anything else in contrast to that. Now, with a bridge banned by the flames of poster battle jackets, of course they bought that shit online, that's why they are posers. And let's march forward and see if the borders can stop this scorched earth fashion policing, because everyone is smoldering in our wake. With all the talent from the northern, southern, western and eastern corners of the continent, nobody yet has figured out how to up their prop game. Better yet, how to up their costume game. You might say that metal being heavier, it just has to flow under the current stream, because in the mainstream there are way too many stylists. However averse metal is to stylists, that is not an excuse to not do something great on stage or on videos. And on that note, shoutouts to Uganda for not bringing out Poser Core to the world. Yeah, look at their list, the best bands and counting. Which also shifts our attention to Niger. Niger, you can march to call all the match you want, but we still need to see what you'll bring forth to the world. That now closes the topic or the discussion on what's poser and what's not. Closing the topic right there. Focusing the wide eye lens worldwide, we have the bands who are their sources of influence. There are the strippers, the ones who've earned their stripes, the hot sauce expulsers, the dragon whisperers. Then there is the gods and the gods. Even motherfucking Roshash makes a fucking appearance in one instance. All these fellas are too dripped out and dripping that Candlelight Records only can afford to give them a wide berth. Or they just condense into this sound. But since we're talking about metal, you might as well say amalgamate. Back to black metal. Here's what I managed to pull off the WWW. And this shit is gonna be tackled regionally. Starting off with Northern African guys. And why in the hell don't you pose with beer? I've seen the rest of the scenes posing up with beer pictures. You guys are not allowed by the government to be taking shots or what? Then take shots back at the government, fellas. Not even a single thrash band is doing what a thrash band ought to do, chugging. First on the list is Algeria. Lela Hell is the representative. Everybody else didn't come strong enough. Triple Drown, they're showing us their bodysuits. Styles for both males and females. Boys, girls. Where is the beer? Eczema popped in and popped off like a pimple. Maybe scarred skin, or rather masked skin, might be dripped to you. Erasing mankind, we have techwear, fucking Gopcore man, dadwear, Dolce & Gabbana, all the way to West Side Connection. How's that for dripping? Still down low. Riverwood from Egypt, they seem to be taking an inspiration from the English band Motorhead. Motorhead only had a sandpit, you have the whole desert, but they still outdrip you, huh? What a time to be alive. Crescent from Egypt, they have leather battle jackets and what seems to be arm coils, what the ancient Africans used to wear. You can see that from the Maasai and mostly Nilotic tribes, even though some Bantu still don them. I've even traced it to some tribe in Southern Asia. Might be the contender for the best look so far. Why not for an impression that looks like John from Dissection? Rest in peace. Tiger went extra. Bathrobes for when you're too drenched that you need to attend a concert while still dripping fresh out of the shower. Who does it better than that? And now that they are black metal, that is some forward-thinking stuff. Call it progressive black. Trilogy, this is how they throw it down. Say it's not real, you hater. They are dressed up and dressed down for a night out. The torpedo thrashers are taking us back in time, a medieval heart against far. You guys now see why ladies dress way too easily better than fellas. The East takes us off to Madagascar. Malagasy gives us La Masse. And here's our first instance of corpse paint. They're even suited up, as you can see. Just like Flesh God Apocalypse, which is 2 degrees away from Courage Angren, which shares genre tags with Malassi, seen for black. Quite the short relationship between suits and corpse paint, if you ask me. Kaza, now this is a band whose digging up impressed me. Looking every part the 80s metal band. The rock band Living Color may have been popular as an all-black outfit, but Kazal seemed to have taken a leaf, a sweet Black Sabbath riff, from the first OG black band, Ziki SpaceX Black Death. My Swahilians might call that Nisi, or it's just nicey. But it's not that they got much of drip per se, it's just that they replicate what is so oftenly done. And I haven't seen anybody else do that yet. Further east side, the straightest line from Tabernacle to Taliban is through turbans. And the bassist so metal mouth he eats and spits metal gauntlets, where black metal bands wear leather gauntlets. That is for those who seek a sign. Beyond your ritual, ditching the t-shirt and jeans for a dress code that better fits your local food dive. I guess the tipping is good enough. What do you expect from people who serve prog thrash? Orthodoxes, Mad Max Mortal Kombat black metal punk, but for an album cover. Shouldn't I say Metal Combat? Osimenti, coming in straight off the left field and propping hard with an armchair. But you know who started this legendary stuff? That has to be Mutilation. Handicap when it's legs. West African folk, so focused on being people they forget to make metal. Call that folk metal. Akan must be the ones who are in tune with African traditional wear as far as metal is concerned here. To the south, before Crash, it's a set that looks peachy and beigey. Who else wears braids and denim shorts atop a graft wall before hitting it off with their checkmates? Dor Phantasma, making it to this drip and metal fest by merit of shoe game, clothing fit and pose organization. Horde of Silence. Remember when Queen dropped self-titled 2? Well, these guys did a poor lighting job, and more so, they even share an outfit, a similar stage prop with the next band, and that band is Kishi, donning the same robe but upping the game by adding a skull, which is in line with the creature they are named after, the Angolan Kishi. This gives the Indian wolf headdress proper competition. Overthrust, the famous heavy metal cowboys from Botswana, denim leather chains, and a study on how to start the African metal craft, representing the cowboy river madness of Botswana. It's black metal to take a pee. Skin Flint, the Order of the Snake, everything so fringe you can see the border of the country they are taking an inspo from. Mexico. Bullet belts replaced by wooden beads. Only the witch controls the hateful beasts. And it's drip after bloody drip. Balios, all curled up in a kilt. Now what remains is quilt. Not you going on hold, doing a pseudo quit. Imperium of Man, leaving the part literary because their genre necessitates a lot of hair splitting to nail down the sound. Blacklight Council is the war obsessed. We have bullet belts, chain mail, and the incentive for your death is burning incense. Only that the music ain't war metal. Demogorod Satanum, the OG black metal band in Africa. You know they had to appear in this list. Valvodynia, if you thought Matchcore was a Western thing, then think twice. For a band that does cock checks online, what do you expect? And they do go hard on it. Flip caps, booty shots, ski masks, you name it. What they do is not show you the drip, but they give it back to you. Bye bye bye. Pun intended.